お帰りなさいませ。
So this episode of 86 seems to bring us some dark times. If what happened that I think happened, well then that's gonna be my sorrow for the next until the series ends. Oh no. I guess we just start off episode 17 of 86. In general, I think what is it like episode 5 of season 2. Um, we start off with a war inside of the Republic, which is really weird to see. But we start off this whole anime basically with the Republic being in complete, I almost want to say a Renaissance period with how much their buildings are stacked up and the statues they have going around. And now look at it, all in shambles as the Legion runs straight through it as the 86 are trying to fight them off inside of their place. And we see that Vladilena, Annette, and a few of Vladlena's, the people we kind of saw her walking around with inside of the, what do I call it, the base, were outside giving commands. So I'm assuming the base was completely destroyed, and more of it. I can also probably assume her uncle died, and everything is in flames. Like they're marching down the street to the Republic. We'll get to that a bit later. However, the fact that they're outside having to get commands right next to the mortars is a whole nother thing. So as I just realized while watching this, as as the episode goes on, we go to the opening, and the destroyed city that you see in the opening was more likely just the Republic. So it was kind of already told you that it was going to happen before letting you know, because the buildings I thought looked very similar. To the buildings in the Republic. And now I ask myself the story, is this going to be a revenge story to avenge Vladilena? Because I don't like her odds. I don't like her odds. I really don't like her odds. Shin is protecting Frederica from the last episode that we saw with the explosion. The base has been attacked by like a long range, they called it a railgun, I think. The Morpho. I believe it's called the Morpho. And it shot from crazy far away. It shot 4 different places, I believe. Killed 20k people. I said 20k. 20,000 people. It killed 20,000 people. Saw some dude's leg in a completely different area. Huge crater in the middle of the base. And with a weapon like that, it can cause some major destruction. And probably lower their numbers quite crazy. So now they have to specifically target this weapon, even though they're already having to hold the lines for the Legion, basically, and already have their forces where they need them to be. Because, right, if you send all your forces just to go handle this weapon, well, now the Legion can attack from every other place that you guys had a front on. So they decide and go, hey, well, we need somebody to go and deal with this. And their solution, in the words that were said in the show, was the most likely to succeed and the least likely to be missed. And I had to say wow to that. In this episode before that a little bit, we saw Zafar, the Prince of the United Kingdom of Royal Gracia. And then we also saw the Lieutenant General Bell of the Alliance of Wald. I just thought it was interesting that these 3 nations have communication, but not the Republic. And I also said it was probably a terrible time to go full racist when there was when there's a bunch of death robots who don't care that you have white hair and white eyes. Maybe this was not the time to cut yourself off from 3 other nations because they would look funny to you. Probably a terrible idea. Gosh dang it! I mean, at least they're not gonna have to worry about the integration process. Like, had all the cities survived, because then here's the thing, right? Let's say the Republic would have survived the way it is. Eventually, even if the Legion was gone, the Republic would probably start wars with the other nations to get rid of them, because it would belong to the glory of the Republic. They are better than the people around them. They're the Alba. So, yeah. Wow, that's just crazy, ain't it? What was I gonna say? So everyone's upset at the 86. Frederica is like talking to Shin, like multiple times in the episode. Basically like, Shin, you need to get sleep. Shin, you need to not act like Curie, because you already see how insane that dude is now. Basically being a Legion. And you can't lose yourself. Everyone keeps talking about his future. Everybody keeps talking about what he should be doing. And Karina like hears a little bit of that when I think they were talking about like the 86 or whatever, and she like snaps and she's like, "No, I want to be treated like the 86 I am," right? Or like she wants to be treated like a soldier, basically. Because I believe Frederica brought up the fact that they could probably get a little bit more sleep since they're 86. They can get a little bit of special treatment, and all of them are very pissed about getting special treatment. Um, so after she yells about that, like out loud, everyone in the cafeteria starts staring at them. And you start seeing the glares and stuff, but they're more happy with that because people, I guess, are just being honest to them. Um, and then Theo brings up the major by accident. He kind of like goes, "Oh shoot," and then Anju's like, "Hey, quiet, don't say anything. Like, don't bring her up." Um, and because they're kind of like, does he realize that she's probably like the Republic's probably gone? Um, and then Shin's also we get another interesting part of Shin's character. And you could see it from earlier, like just him running into battle with that blank expression on his face. The little girl, I forgot the name of her brother, so she's gonna hate me twice as much. But Nina sends Shin messages, and that orange-haired prick does the exact same thing as well. Like he's delivering the messages. Um, and they're just basically hate mail to Shin for letting her brother die. And I'm gonna be really honest with you. Some of my friends are really annoyed by Frederica as a character. I kind of hate that little girl. I get why she's doing it. All I'm saying is, if there's anybody here who annoys me now, it's that little girl's face. Oh my gosh. Cause Shin has some like major survival guilt. He's got some serious. I think all of them have survivor's guilt because they can't even let themselves like rest for 5 seconds without feeling like, oh, I'm not doing what I need to as a soldier. If anything, I'd almost say they have an idea of what they think a soldier should be, and they're trying to follow it, but they're following it with a very naive sense of it. So even Frederica brought up the fact that like you need your sleep. I was thinking to myself, like, imagine trying to get sleep though while fighting the Legion. And there's some giant tank robots slowly marching to my neighborhood in order to blow me up. But their idea of what a soldier should be is almost just anti what the Alba was doing to them. If the Alba would do the thing they're doing, they're not going to do it. And I know this is me simplifying it by quite a lot, but there's multiple times in this episode where they're basically almost stating that. What was I going to say outside of that? So as we're seeing Shin with the survival skill, we hear all the voices. Why did you survive? We killed my brother. He's answering back to like the little idea of the little girl Nina that he has in his head. And a thing this episode does a lot is Shin doesn't actually directly cry. However, the imagery implies he is crying. That cut underneath his eye he got the last episode that I did not notice. Thank you, C Tactics. Slowly bleeds down and rolls down his cheek. And we don't see his eyeballs. It's like an implication of tearing, like he's crying at the fact that basically, one, that he lived, two, that I don't know if he's upset also that people are yelling at him, right? I don't know if he's one of those people who are affected. I would obviously guess, yeah, but I don't know to be certain. And then later on, when he's inside of the room, when he's talking to the director with the eye patch on, and then Wenzel is yelling, like, she's like, no, you can't send them out, because the words that they're saying out loud kind of, like, go with Shin's head, and when they say 86, when the director with the eye patch says 86, he hears all his friends behind him, like, all his dead friends, some that we haven't seen in quite a minute, and I think it was a really nice, touching moment. I thought they did that really well. It was also interesting. One of the characters, like, I don't even know who that, because they talked about Lena, I think. Do you think that white pig princess is still alive? And then he was like, I didn't even know who you're talking about. That was a good touch. But then this is the part where, again, it sad me. Outside of just sad for like 2 or 3 of the characters I already knew that we saw back there. Lena starts walking over basically to that side, and it's the same imagery as we see in the ending and in the opening, her standing in those fields of flowers, but I can take it as the implication is like she's on the other side. That field of flowers is on the other side, possibly. We had a fake out with Shin's death. That's the only reason why I'm still on the I don't know yet, but we'll see. And then as he says goodbye to her, um, he there's his face is on a window, and again the window has a drop on it, and it rolls down his face again. So tearing again. Now there is a difference that one was tears of blood with the guilt. This one was saying goodbye, which is a regular tear. But again, it's like it's crazy. And we actually get Shin with some like real emotion for 5 seconds. And that doesn't mean he's not a good character. I'm just bringing it up because it is a rare thing to see. He is pissed about being pitied. He's also very pissed about because Wenzel wants him to sit back, quit the military and everything else, and go live his life basically as a youth. And he doesn't want to do that. One, because that would make him just like the Republic, where they sat back and let other soldiers die for them. Two, that's not who he is. He believes himself to be a soldier. So in both regards, her pity and sense of justice is disrespecting him. However, again, I can understand the point she's making is, well, if this is all you know, of course you think this is your identity. She doesn't go into that. She just kind of lets him walk out. But them thinking this is the only thing that is for them. And they did try a few things, right? Like, don't take that away from them. They did go out and try things. However, what is a month of trying things compared to a lifetime of war? What are you talking about, right? And again, they all settled together about if they run, they're no different than the Alba. One of the guys we saw earlier when they were all standing outside, I don't remember his name, says like the Republic's monsters. If you can fight a monster, then you are a monster, which is a really dumb logic, but okay. And then, because the thing is, like, had you been saying to gas them up, that's fine, but they're saying it obviously in prejudice still. And then we get a nice quiet ending. The rest of the people, the rest of the 86 walk out. Theo, Raiden, the rest they all walk out, and Shin's just sitting there. And then they kind of go like, "Hey, Shin, come on." And then the ending song we see here has a lot of Oyasumi, which is good night. It's very quiet, and it slips in almost like a slice of life. Like, had all the characters died right after this, this would probably be like a really fitting end. I don't think it's going to happen. We're obviously going to watch the show, right? There's obviously going to be another episode. And then at the very end of the ending, and the ending is Vladilena standing on the other side and Shin standing on this side, both of them looking away. Her standing in a field of like white flowers and everything's blue, and then him in the red with a black floor. As we see later, the Republic is very dead. Like, very, very dead. Like, there are tanks all over the place. People's corpses are everywhere. 86, Alba. The city's destroyed. Statues have their faces blown or carved off. There's like graffiti that says like 86 go away, but I'm sure that was put there before with the 86 having to come inside probably to defend. And then we see Vladlena's room, and the glass is broken, and her room is just blowing in the wind. And so we're left to imply she and the rest of everybody else are dead. In Shin specifically, when he goes over the map he has, he puts his finger around the area of the Republic where he hears the Legion. And that was a while ago, and they already said, don't worry about the Republic, it doesn't matter. So, if this is the end of Vladilena, R.I.P. If not, then anime. That's some plot armor if I've seen it before. I mean, Shin's living was plot armor that I hadn't seen before. Because as far as we all thought for the end of season 1, his head was clean cut off, especially with the imagery they did. So who knows? Who knows? I won't know to the end of the series whether or not that's going to be certain, but we'll see. Alright, hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Share to a friend. They want to hear somebody else who's like an anime only sound like an idiot while you've all read the manga, the novel, and you get to laugh at me and go, haha, this idiot doesn't know what's going to happen. And then let me know what you thought of this episode, and I'll catch you all later. Peace. Remember, this episode. Thank you.